For sales, please press 1.
Welcome back. You're now tuned into Sold in 60, the one and only timeshare podcast in the world. And today, I'm back. I'm your host, Richie Rich, and my right-hand man, Down Payment Dillon.
Down Payment Dillon in the building.
What's up? On the boards. And today I got a special guest. This guest has been in the business for 19 years. 19 years of timeshare sales. Has been a top producer, well-respected on the floor, been a manager, is well-respected as a manager, and well-respected in the industry. So today, I'm giving a thunderous round of applause to my guest, Jeanette. J.
Hi.
What's going down?
Are you?
Mr. Reynoso.
Epa.
Now, let me tell you something. It's a pleasure to have you on this show.
Thank you. My pleasure to being here.
We're from two different sides of the world.
Yes, we are.
We've crossed paths. I know that you've started on the Dayline side of life, and that's your lane. But I've seen you doing your thing for quite some time, and didn't get the chance to know you until some of the recent years. But I always respected the way you move and how people look up to you and how they respect you. So it's an honor to have you on this show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Facts. So I just want to start off with, our audience is a mixture of new people who are thinking about getting in the industry, people who have been in the industry, and, but we have people that's chiming in from Hawaii, Wisconsin, Vegas, all different types of places,
Nice.
right? But and I feel like everyone in this business is a special breed. You know what I'm saying?
We should. That's why we sell timeshare.
Yeah. So how in the world did you get involved in timeshare sales?
Well, my story is crazy.
Okay.
But I can tell you, my sister worked there in the industry first than I did. And I came from New York one time to visit her, and she told me let's go to this party. I went to the party. I thought it was a lot of fun. Everybody was happy. Everybody was friendly. And I was like, wow, I want to work here. So she got me the job.
Get out of here. Was it a Westgate party?
It was a Westgate party. The best parties. No other company does that.
I heard about them. I heard about their Christmas parties.
It was a Christmas party. They went all out, food everywhere, drinks everywhere. Everybody was having fun.
Yeah, that's what's up. I know a lot of people when I've been invited to other parties, and anytime you go to another company's event and you see the people that's happy and joyful, and you're like, well, what do these people do?
They make money.
They make money. You can tell by the energy, and then you're like, whoa, how do I get in this circle? So you said your sister invited you. And was she working with the company, or did she just know?
She was working with the company at the time.
Okay. So then you finally said, okay, how do I get in?
Yes, I said, how do I get in? She was like, oh, maybe this job is not for you.
Get out of here.
Yep. And I was like, nah, I could do this. And she was like, well, here's the number, call. I called. The trainer said, yes, you're in the class. No problem. It was so easy. So then I applied, and then I went to the class. I was all of a sudden a rep.
Nice.
I was so nervous. I remember the first day I shook that person's hand. I called him in the hallway, and my stomach was hurting. I was very nervous. And to my unfortune, it was a guy that didn't like Spanish or black.
Wow.
And he didn't hold my hand or anything. And I looked at my trainer. My trainer looked at me. He was like, you got to take it.
Wow. So you just went through with it.
I did. So that was a disaster, but I didn't lose my faith. I said, I'm going to do this.
Now, where are you from originally?
I'm from New York, but my mother's Italian. My father's Dominican.
Nice. You speak Italian?
Poquito.
Because I know, and you speak Spanish?
Yes.
I know Spanish and Italian is pretty similar. But coming from New York, were you born in the city or upstate?
I was actually born in the city.
Are you a city girl? What borough?
I'm Manhattan.
Okay, so you from the heart of it.
I was born in Washington Heights.
Okay, that's what's up. So there's not to take away from anyone else from other places, but I have a special place in my heart for people that move from the city and then come to Florida and then get into the business, because I just feel like you already come from an environment that's a fast pace, it's a survival mode concrete jungle type of instinct. And then when we get into this opportunity, we naturally get involved and adapt.
Yes, we do. That's because New York is so fast, hustle and bustle, that we don't think twice.
Right.
It's like we want to work.
So knowing that you came from that, it's like, what motivated you to stay in this field despite all the type of sales pressure that come along with sales?
What motivated more to me was where I came from prior to timeshare. So to see that I can make the same amount of money in the industry and do it in a company where I had this dream that I wanted to get dressed and, have my purse and look like I work in an office.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta do this, I love it. So that motivated me.
That's what's up. So so let's bring it back. So you started on what side of the fence did you start on as far as timeshare sales? Was it the day line or
I
in-house?
started in the day line in 2004.
Okay. So so for those that are watching and don't know what Dayline is, I mean, what are your tours like? With the people that you're selling, where are they coming from?
They're coming from the streets that they saw a booth, and they give them discount on tickets. Sometimes they get cash, and so they come in. We give them what they're promised, but they have to sit there for 90 minutes.
So to put that into context, like in Florida, we have certain locations that we have what they call a OPC booth, which is a off-property contact. So there's people that's probably at a restaurant where we're going to approach them and offer them a presentation for discount tickets at the theme parks. Most people are coming here to go to the theme parks, so we're going to say, hey, you want to go to the theme park, you plan on going to Disney for a discount, well, if you do a presentation, we'll give you a discount on tickets.
Yes.
So they say, okay, I'll do it. Leave a deposit, and then they show up to the resort, your resort, the following day. Now you meet them. Now, knowing that there's some people that's here to play the game or earn a little money just to kill some time, what's that like, that process, like dealing with them? Are you strong with them? Are you straightforward, or are you like backdoor?
Well, in what I have learned is that you have to make a friend first. Before you even talk about the product itself, you got to make a friend. And then when you see that you build this little relationship really, really fast, then you introduce the company and the product, what you're going to be doing. Let them know step by step what it looks like, the 90 minutes.
Yeah. Now, I noticed that some people, they get too caught up on trying to build the trust with the family and don't know how to turn the hat into sales.
Well, sometimes it's you, the sales rep. You become tight, and you become so tight that you forget what you have to do.
Yeah.
What's the next step, because you're so caught up on doing it the right way. But you are the right way.
So you just have to kind of go forward and don't overthink it in your head.
Overthinking people miss opportunities.
Nice. So when you started out, like, did it click right away or did it take some time?
Oh, no. It took me 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. It took me 4 months.
You're better than me. It took me like 4 years. I'm still learning in the process. But at the beginning, it was hard for me because I came from the hustle, the bustle, like you said. And then I had a corporate. To me, it was the corporate job,
Right.
and it wasn't.
Right.
I was making it harder for me. So I was like, I got to do this.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
Have you ever been in a situation where it's like you wasn't producing and it was like, yo, you got to do something quickly or else we got to...
Oh, I got put on a 2 for 10. I got fired 4 times because I couldn't sell. I didn't even know what I was doing because I was telling the script without putting me in it. So I was just running my mouth.
Yeah.
And then when you come to see, I'm down again. I'm 10 for 0. And then they fire you. So one thing this business has, you can't be shy. You can't be... you can't feel bad when they fire you. You just got to be like, I'll come back, don't worry, and come back stronger. And that's what I did. I was so motivated to work for Westgate, the only thing I knew at that time. And I was like, and I hit it hard. I was like, I'm not going nowhere.
You know what's crazy is that, you say that being a 2 for 10, being fired, but no one would ever imagine that. Seeing the strength that you have, seeing the respect that you have, seeing the way that you handle the families and close them, and in your position, like no one would imagine that journey that you've ever experienced because they think some people just come off the bat hitting it.
No, nobody comes off the bat. Not everybody comes off the bat. Some people will, but not me. I went through the struggles of timeshare.
I was on a 2 for $10 before. I've been on the 1 as well. And that's when your back is against the wall, especially if you don't have no other options or if you feel like, I got to make this work. You know what I'm saying? It's like we try to figure it out immediately.
Immediately. This is not for the people that have 2 jobs because you have to be focused on one. And you make so much money here that you got to make it your number one.
Yeah. Now, speaking of making money, there's some people that are starting right now that don't have a license. And I try to encourage people myself to say, don't start without a license. I had a cousin that worked for the company for years. He actually went to Vegas, but he started in Orlando. But he told me, do not start without a license, right? Because you're going to miss so much money. Did you start with a license?
Mm-mm.
So what was that journey like?
My journey was hard, I told you. I started with no license. I couldn't get a license. I did it for 10 years, but it wasn't bad. The more you sell, your check is higher. So every so often, like I think for us it was like every 60 days, they will check your numbers. And I used to make the highest that I started at 125, I believe. And then the highest I made was $375 a day, just by clocking in.
Nice. So for the listener, to put that into context is, if you're selling in your salary, you become valuable. And they understand that to keep you motivated on doing what you're doing, we're going to pay you a higher salary because you can't be paid a commission, but we'll pay you a higher salary because you're selling.
But don't get me wrong, that salary went down if I was not doing good, like it went up when I was.
Could fluctuate based on performance. And I think that's important to know because some people have other challenges that prevent them from getting the license. But if they have the tenacity, the passion, the companies will compensate you to come and bring that drive. Whereas there's some departments that won't hire you, or if they hire you with a salary, only give you like 90 days because their mentality is a person on a salary is not going to work hard for the sale like a person who's going to get a commission. Like the other day, I heard someone tell me that the TO, the manager, told the rep, "I'm not going to your table." Or the rep overheard the manager telling someone else, "I'm not even going to go to her table.
Oh, wow.
She's salary." Now, to me personally, I wasn't involved with that conversation, but I don't think that makes sense because the managers are still paid.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Whether that reps gets the full commission or not, the manager gets paid their commission because they're
no matter what.
I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but hearing that you can get paid even if you're in a situation, because there's some people in a situation I know that maybe they have a record or maybe they have something, some challenges. Maybe they don't have a social security number. I don't know, whatever the challenge is.
But that shouldn't discourage them. Why? Because like we said, it fluctuates. Your check will fluctuate. You just got to concentrate on being the best you can be. And don't let nobody tell you any different. And walk with that confidence.
That confidence is important. I want to tap into something that I haven't had the opportunity to ask a woman, right? Dealing with male pressure in a male-dominated industry, like what kind of challenges did you face in the sales arena, and how did you overcome that pressure?
Well, it's very hard because I was the only girl manager among all the men. So you got to be hard. You got to be strong. This is not for the weak. If you're weak, and sometimes we, as a manager, as a team, we fight like men.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready for that. You can't just cry, no. In timeshare, ladies, we wipe our tears and move forward.
So what is the battle between the men versus the women?
That they always think they're better than you. You can do. They don't want. They don't want men to compare to the women. Can't compare to the men.
They don't want to be outshined by a woman.
So no matter how hard you try, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you don't let that phase you.
Now I've seen that in different departments as well, because there are female leaders that don't let other females level up to where they are. You know what I mean? The fight to get to the top was so hard that they don't want to let anyone else get to this level as well. But dealing with, because I'm watching like TOs, and let's say there's 7 males and maybe 2 females, you know? But the sales floor needs a balance when it comes to...
Well, we work under pressure. I worked as a manager by myself, but then one time I had another female, and so we were fighting. I know exactly what you're talking about, because she wanted to be better than you. We sell dream. They sold us a dream that whoever became the strongest and whoever sold the most, you were going to be on the line for the rest of the year. But no matter how hard we hit it, we were winning. We didn't make it for some apparent reason. And there were men there that was making, the numbers were less than us, and nothing happened.
What do you think makes a good manager?
What do I think it makes a good manager?
Yeah.
When everybody respects you, respects what you say, you want to, they genuinely help them, because the hardest part of our job is to go to the manager. And since we're all fighting for the money, basically, so it becomes very challengeable. So if they know that you're not producing, nobody wants to go to your table. And so we go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, we got to drink some water.
You hear that? So let's bring it back. There was a time where your TO, the manager, would run from the rep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to get the manager's attention. All of a sudden, they on the phone call. I'm busy. I'm sorry. One moment. Yeah, I'm busy. Right, I'm going to get someone else. I get it. I remember those days. And no, those were the days of an open floor. What I'm seeing a lot of resorts doing now is a rotation where they assign a manager. So this rep is assigned to that person regardless. But in the open floor days, it was like whoever's available you can go to, you know?
I really like the rotation because sometimes you get stuck with a manager that is too tough for you, and your sales performance will be based on how he feels when you get there. So now that is a structure. Everybody goes to different managers every single day. You can see it because your number you start working with other people you never had the opportunity to work.
Yeah. And you get to learn different strategies as well, right? Different approaches. But how can a manager be like too strong? Like, what are some of the traits that carry that?
Well, I can only talk about my experience. So I had a manager. I loved him to death, but he's the most strong person. He will tell you, you piece of crap. You're not worth nothing. You should quit. It's like words suicidal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So those are the type of managers that I'm talking about. The real strong one, the one that wants to, belittle you. Yeah. And as a woman, we go through so much that plays a big role on anybody, not just women, on anybody.
That's a key thing that you said. One thing when I'm dealing with new people, I try to kind of forewarn them that not to take things personal. Sometimes, and you've been a manager, so you can understand if you have, let's say you have 7 reps and you have multiple tables and you know there was a deal there, but you didn't get to work it. The rep is not doing this thing. You go into another table. Now I got to focus on this one. I got 4 other people waiting for me, right? I think that it's a lot of pressure that the rep doesn't know what's going on in your mind as well as them.
But it's a catch-22 because, yes, we understand. Yes, but we can baby you. In order for you to grow, you gotta grow with tough love. You know when your mom gave you tough love and you didn't understand why? That TO, no matter what he was going through or I was going through and how tough he was, I feel like he made me the person that I am today. Tough, thick skin, because that's this industry. This is a tough skin industry. You can't be shy. You won't last.
Were you the type of manager that would try to train the reps that you worked with to be better after the day of a sale or no sale? Did you stay with them afterwards?
Yes. remember, I was a girl. I was the manager, so I wanted to
You was a
have
girl?
the best performance.
Right. Okay, I got you.
I
So
want my team to succeed because if they succeed, I was going to succeed and they could see it.
yeah, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me ask you this: being a woman, you're one of the women, and there's men, and you're pretty, and you come to work dressing fly. Like, what's that pressure like? Is it just like men hitting on you from left and right, or are they respecting your space?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
But you have to keep it professional. But I can tell you one thing, being a manager as a girl, when a man manager has an issue in a table that he got, he has a problem and it's him. He created that problem. And you feel like, oh my God, there was a sale and I fucked it up, So he would be like, Jeanette, come. So me being the girl, oh, how you doing? And then we got the deal.
You see the deal.
But he will never show up at that table ever again.
Would they break bread with you when you do that?
No,
Wow.
but we were a team.
Yeah, forget that team shit. Run me my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's whack. But they understood the balance where a woman was needed to smooth things out because they blew it up.
I think it's important to have a woman in the floor because a woman brings in tension, the smooth. She's smooth. She comes in quiet, but she's really like a beast.
Yeah.
I love that position.
Now, right now, and you know what's funny, because we've always watched the numbers on the floors, and there's always like that the top women that been selling it. You have to respect them. How is that competition amongst the women when it's like you said, as a TO, as a manager, there's competition, but as a sales rep, there's competition as well, right?
A little bit of both. A little bit. We praise women because we want women to succeed. So we follow the one that's succeeding, and we, make sure that we want to be like her. What does it take for me to be there? What is she doing? And I want to talk to her and I want to listen to her. Rather than sitting down with my friends, I would just move the floor. That's how I learned. I moved the floor. I saw how that person talked, how she sat down, what did she say, how did she, every time she'll say today, how did she say today? That's important.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Now, being on Dayline Sales, right, I don't think that you have a lot of the issues that owners have because they're staying on the property. Sometimes they get this experience, the product may not be what they thought it was going to be. But, sometimes this business, we have a tough sale because you're selling a dream. We always say that you're selling a dream and we're on the in-house side maybe fixing it. But how do you handle overcoming those objections for people that have no trust in the company? They've been on Google, they've been on the internet, seeing all this stuff about timeshare. I feel like the Dayline representatives have a harder challenging tour because it's not in their system to own at all.
Of course, nobody comes with the intentions of buying, but they're still on vacation. And no product is $100 bill. None of them. It could be any resort out there. If you're not an owner, they might not treat you like an owner. You're a renter. And in every resort or every hotel, you're going to go through some things. But it's better to be the owner.
Rent first, own. Yeah, I agree. So, most of them are wild when they come to your property.
Oh, yeah.
Because wherever they're staying is not in comparison to what you have, right? But your thing is you're getting them to join something that is foreign to them, right? So they have the fear of, am I doing the right thing?
Yes, but you have to overcome it. Yes, you are doing the right thing because at the end of the day, you're going to have a receipt. You got nothing to show for it. That's how we go in. You have to find the positive in the negative.
So when you have a family, a husband and wife, are you the type that's siding with the lady?
All the time.
Yeah.
Before I even talk to the guy, I have to, and I treat her like if that's the guy that I want. I want to make her feel that I feel that she's beautiful, that she she has to give me the permission to talk to her husband, not just straight to the husband. No, I ignore the husband. It's all about her.
Nice. And when do you call him out?
When it's time to ask for the money.
What do you say?
No, I always involve them in the presentation, but my focus is on her until she's okay with me directing my eyesight to the guy, to the men. Because men, of course, when you're pretty and you're a little bit younger or whatever the case may be, he's already in it.
Yeah.
When he looks to the side, he's like, and he's there.
So yeah, keep him engaged.
And so the worst thing you want is the girl to be intimidated from another girl.
Yeah. So now that you've kind of mastered how to handle the families, you got the women first and then you get the gentlemen involved. And when you're going for your clothes, your back end is pretty strong.
Very.
So tell us about it. How you set
Well,
it?
it depends on the family. Everything depends on the family. You don't treat a family the same you treated the last family you have, because everybody's different. So
I could say
it's
this.
hard.
90% of the people that hit the sales floor, the weakest part is the back end.
Oh, yeah.
Most training doesn't teach you the back end. They teach you presentation, everything from beforehand. So you can have a perfect script, you could have a perfect presentation, you could be flawless in that, but the back end is overcoming objections. So if there was one thing that you can share that works for you, that made you successful over all these years, what would it be about the back end?
I don't believe it's the objection, because you shouldn't have one at that time. I just think it's the sales rep not wanting to ask for that money, pulling out that credit card. For most new people, it's very rare when you have a group of 10 new people and only one dares to ask for the money. You see, that's the problem. Because I had that when I was a manager, training the team. Everybody was fine throughout the whole time of the presentation until they reached their back end. Now it's time for the money. They gag. No, you have to ask for the money with conviction.
So let me ask you a question. On your back end, how are you asking for the money? Are you showing the sticker price and sticking to that and saying, give me a credit card for this amount of money?
Yes, and staying quiet. The one that answers the first loses. So $10,000 is your down payment. How are you going to handle that? I make jokes. I take credit card. I take your children. I take whatever. And so you make them laugh. But I think asking for the money starts from the very beginning. You can't wait until the end because you're too late.
I agree with that. Just to piggyback on that a little bit. I always share with people that ask me about the timeshare sales process that if you asking for the money, if your first time asking for the money is on the back end when you're pulling out the sheet, then it's already over. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you on that 1,000%. As a matter of fact, I'll also share with reps, let's say they do a whole presentation, and now their last step is to take them to the model, right? So you take them to the model, you put them in the picture. I said, okay, well, before you leave the model, right, this would be a good time to let them, because after this is it. Once the numbers come out, that's it. So, guys, based on what you've seen here today, if we get in a golf cart and, get back to the sales floor and it's 100% affordable and it makes sense, then obviously I'm looking at my newest owners here today, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that right there alone could open up so many doors for you. But if you go through the motions and you just be a tour guide and then you show them the model and then you come back and now you're pulling up the spreadsheet and you don't even know you have no idea if they're in it or not. You know what I'm saying?
And to piggyback on what you said is so true. Even something simple as, do you see yourself vacationing this way? So if this is something affordable, will I be welcome you to my newest owner? Oh, yeah. How much is this? Don't worry about it. I'll tell you in a minute. But do you like it? If it's affordable, would you buy it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a good question. Why do you ask? You know?
You mentioned earlier also that there's been, we have our highs and our lows, but there's been times where you've been at your low, where you've had to been let go for whatever reason, numbers or whatever the case may be. My question to you is, when you're going through that slump, 8, 9, 10 tours and no deal,
I want to hang myself.
right? When you go 10 tours with no deal, how do you wake up the next morning and get ready for work and put on your clothes and everything of that nature? Like, what keeps you motivated to say, you know what, it's been 10 tours, I haven't got a deal, but I'm going to work and getting the 11th tour, or I'm going to work and getting that 12th tour? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is I meditate in the morning, especially when I'm not doing good. I meditate, I create self-confidence. Because you hear the morning meeting, but not the morning meeting is not ever specifically to you. So I have to, when you're down, you come to work down. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing you can do, nobody could tell you anything. But if you really need to get out of that slump, then you have to find your own peace and create your own, you have to come motivated.
Yeah.
At this time.
And it's the hardest part.
At this time, when you're going through that slump, are you in the break room listening to what other people's pitches, trying to create a new pitch, or are you just
on my headphones listening to motivational speaking?
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
That's what I want to ask you. So what do you listen, like who's in your headphones these days?
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I just scroll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming up, the speakers and the sales trainers were different than today. So like I came from an old school background, you know, the Tom Hopkins, the Zig Ziglars, the Les Browns, Brian Tracy's. But what's relevant today? Because I still feel like those people still have relevant content.
Those are the people that I listen. I just hit the YouTube buttons, and those are the people that come up. But you have to be motivated to listen, because when you're going down, it's so hard.
Absolutely. But the good thing about the business is that one day can change your life. And I feel like that one sale, when you ask for 20 grand and that person says, yeah, we can do it, that kind of sparks you right back up. And you realize that.
You walk with your head up.
Yeah. You're like, damn, people do got money out here. You know what I'm saying? They really could. Like, and you try to get on the next table, and then you got that spark.
And that's the dread. That's what I love about the job. You can be down today, tomorrow you could be up here. But when that roller coaster hits, you have to walk with confidence, talk with confidence, dress nice, because when you're down, you come like you feel. No, you have to come in your best and feel good and make jokes and don't hear nothing negative, because misery loves company.
What about when you're on your high and you're actually on fire and you just wrote 2-3 deals in a row? A friend of yours asks if you can stop by their table to help them out. You help a friend close their table. You go in the next day, you double down. Tell me about that time. How are you feeling during those times?
Empowered, full, great. Oh my God, you're excited. Your ability to help anybody. Yeah. You're gonna be there. What's your need, baby? Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You gotta.
But going back to the letting go, I don't know how to say the word correctly, but you can't be. Those people that be like, oh, I will never go back. Forget it. Oh, that's not for me. No, it's for you. That's why you were here in the first place. When I got let go, that's something I learned. I seen people come and go. I have 20 years. I just got 20 years, right? May 2004 until now. And I seen those people were like, I know, this is not for me. I'm like, you wouldn't be here in the first place. This is for you. Then they leave. They go to another resort. And then they go from resort to resort to resort to resort. And then they come back. And they're realizing that you're making money now. Money brings people, money makes the world go round. They do anything. Look at our tours. They don't need $200, but they come for $200. And they act like, I'm broke. That's not true. Ask them. if you had to prejudge anybody in this room, who do you think makes $65,000 combined income?
Mm-hmm.
People tell you, nobody.
Yeah, they got the money. They just don't got it for you. One of the main reasons why I know they have the money is because I manage a few Airbnb properties, right? And when the families come on vacation, you know, they stay there a week or there two and they check out. When we go inside the Airbnb to clean, you know what we're finding inside of the rental properties? Gucci receipts, shopping at the outlets. They just spent $500-$600 at the Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying? They just spent $400 or $500 at Nike for them and the whole family. So you came on vacation to spend money.
Buyers are liars.
You got the money.
Yeah.
Facts.
Sometimes they come for $200 and they have a full bank account. Like they got the money, but they came here for $200. And some reps, they get discouraged. They'd be like, oh my God, they're here for the money.
Yeah.
But they have a sale.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of timeshare?
The biggest, that it doesn't work. But it's people don't take their time. I think it works. I have one and I use it. It works.
That's big. Most salespeople don't.
Did you have one before you became a salesperson or after?
I actually came, my very, very first time, my sister and I, we came on vacation. And so we got offered Disney tickets at that time. And it was expensive. So we went back to the hotel. The guy from the booth asked us what happened because, you know, your kids are the biggest tattletalers. They were crying. We went to Disney and we're going to go in. So he said, listen, I'm going to give you some tickets. You got to see a presentation. I was like, what? Okay, let's do it. And we ended up buying a one-bedroom.
Get out of here.
Nice.
After kicking her on the table, no, stop making an emotional, drastic decision. I was the negative in the table. My sister was like, no, let's do it.
Do you use it?
Not anymore. We use it more for like renting our week for our friends, families that want to come.
A lot of people don't believe that they can do that. Renting works. I have a cousin that owns a timeshare. She owns week 26 with the 4th of July. She has 2 weeks bank. She's not using it. I'm using it. I paid her for that week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's another thing. Us in Orlando, we go on tiny staycations. I was just at Westgate at a resort for my birthday the other day.
Nice. That's what I'm doing this week. You know what I mean? I use the product. I live the product. Because, you know, there's something about being on the sales side is one thing, but if you're not utilizing the product and seeing what these people are really experiencing, you're missing the boat, right? Because the getting together as a family, utilizing the amenities of the resort, you know, barbecuing, riding bikes, eating at the resort, enjoying it, it's a real vibe.
You just reminded me of something I used to do when I first started working in timeshare. I was so excited that I left work, picked up my kids at my house, and went to the pool of the resort that I worked for.
Nice.
And I used to talk to owners, and we used to have a day afternoon line. So I talked so much with the owners. I used to bring them with their bathing suit to go and purchase.
Nice.
And they used to come. And my manager was like, what are you doing here in your bathing suit? Oh, she's going to buy it right now.
Wow.
But talking to people, that's something that's good. When I'm doing bad, I go and sit at the pool at work and start talking to the owner. So how you been? How you doing? You on here or what?
Yeah, you can learn a lot from an owner just by sitting and talking with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been doing lately is I've been searching the internet to see different things that people are experiencing, owners, renters, and I went on this website and they have like a bunch of different resorts that people have complaints about. So I'm looking at one of them right here. I have it printed out, right? And one of the things is, you know, they went to this resort. I guess they got hooked for tickets, but they said it was a 90-minute presentation. And they said it lasted 4.5 hours. And they felt like they got bamboozled because not only was it 4.5 hours, But then they said they was gonna buy, and the deal went from 47,000, and then I think it dropped down to 10,000. Two things that I want to see what your feedback is. One, I believe that the tours do be 90 minutes, but when you got them interested and they begin negotiation, that's what makes it longer. And they forget all that.
Yes, they do forget all that. But sometimes the new people forget that it takes 90 minutes, but that means that if you took too long, sometimes people take too long too in their presentation. So you have to take accountability for that too. And sometimes you do it really, really quickly. It's just depending on who's the sales rep.
Yeah. I think that I believe that when you come out of a training class, you try to do everything that you was taught. And even though these people train you to do, you know, a certain presentation that they believe is going to be a certain time, it actually takes more time than what they tell you.
But you have to address that to the people. At one point in your presentation, when you make a friend, for example, when I'm introducing my owner referral program, I always say, who promised you 90 minutes, me or the person that invited you here?
I like that.
You know? Why it wasn't me? Because they get paid $400 after the 90 minutes is over. So they start understanding. And then after that 90 minutes is over, now it's my show.
Right.
You know, but you already have a friend.
Correct. I like that. That's a jewel.
Also, piggybacking off of what you said, just by hearing you talk, I can definitely tell you have 20 years of experience for sure. for sure. Reps have to be, like you said, take accountability of the time that they're using too, right? You shouldn't be wasting your time asking just one-off questions that are not leading anywhere, right? Questions, there's a reason why you should be asking every single question, and that should be leading you closer to a sale or giving you the opportunity to keep nuggets to be able to use against them, right? So if you're sitting up with a family, and let's just say you guys are building a strong bond and you're laughing and you got all these things in common and yada, yada, yada. And let's say that goes on for a good 20 minutes. You're going to have to, you know, snap out of it and say, hey, you know what, guys, I can talk to you all day about this, but let me get back to business. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the timeshare. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Because some of these families are slick. They'll come in here purposely try to talk to you about God knows what, to throw you off your game. And then as soon as the 90 minutes come, say, oh, wow, look at the time. Oh, we got to go. You know what? You were lovely. Thank you so much. We'll be back. You did a great job.
Yes. When I mean making a friend doesn't mean making a friend. At one point, you have to cut it off. Yeah. And there is people like that you have to be like, okay, baby girl, let me tell you what we're going to do. Tell me about this. What do you know about this?
For sure.
But you have to know how to say it, too, without being too rough and too insulting.
Tell me this, because I know all of us have a story, but I'm curious to hear. Give us and the viewers listening, shout out to everybody listening on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. Give us your.
I think I know where you're coming.
Give us your a story of a family that stroked you, right? Strokers. A family that you thought they were leading you on to a deal just to find out that they were stroking you the whole time.
And that's a very good question, because when you're new, everybody's stroking you. And they feel it, they know. But I learned that when people tell you, when the client starts talking to you first about all the great things you want to hear in order for you to make that presentation faster, you have to shut it down and address it. Are you asking me this because you want me to go shorten my presentation because you're not interested in buying, or you asking the question because you are interested in buying and you're interested in buying it today? You got to shut it down.
For sure.
Absolutely. Mic drop.
Because if you don't shut it down, they will be gasping you.
Or the families that while you're talking to them, they say, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know those families?
And then I look at them like, what? And then what? What do you mean? Yeah. Like, girls can get away with a lot of stuff.
For sure.
And men do not get away with it at all. It would be chaos. But you have to be strong. That's why you have to, when people when you go to the lobby and pick them up, the minute you know, I have been told from people that you just walking down the hall, they watch you. Is that my rep? Is that my rep? Oh no, I want that rep, because they know if they can manipulate you. They know if they could take advantage. They know if you're strong. They know if they can play with you. Just like we have 10 minutes to make the best impression. They already calculating you. The minute you said Mr. and Mrs. Jones,
Oh yeah, they're watching for sure.
yeah, so they know who they're gonna play with.
For sure.
Y'all just use some timeshare slang. So for the viewers and listeners that don't know, let's use our timeshare dictionary. What is a stroker?
A stroker was somebody comes in and tells you everything you want to hear, and then they don't purchase. They'd be like, "Oh, you're so good. You're so nice. You can't be that nice."
Kind of like stroke your ego type thing, right?
Yeah, thank you for the information. I'm gonna take it back home and go over with it and contact you back.
Like telling you yes, I think I like it. I really, we would do it. We would become an owner, telling you yes all the way to the gets to the money part, and then they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do this.
Well, that's your fault, because you should have done that from the beginning. It's your fault. Take 100% responsibility that you did a whack presentation. Your presentation, you better go home.
Let me ask you this question. There's some sales reps, especially when they're brand new, they are scared to keep the numbers high, so they'll telegraph the drop. They'll basically say things like, oh, well, if you can't afford this, there's another package that we can do for probably like around $150, $170 a month, right? They'll go ahead and immediately drop to the low package. Why would you say that's a bad idea and you should always keep the numbers high?
One, if he's new, that's not your responsibility. If you're new, pass the baton to the manager. That's important, because you're going to lose money. And if that's you, that means that you can't afford it. The sales rep thinks it's expensive for the sales rep. So he's going to base it on what he thinks he could afford. You understand?
For sure.
Yeah. That's
Some
what they call
people-
it. What? Selling with your own pockets, right?
Selling out of your own pockets, for sure.
And that's the biggest thing you could do for you, is to go down the drain is that.
I mean, do you see that though? I don't know if I really see that on the Dayline side.
We do
You do?
see it very. It has to be like somebody very young. Again, that's people that are afraid to ask for the money and assume that not everybody comes here to buy, and they have that implanted. Assume everybody's going to buy, and everybody has the money because they're on vacation.
Yeah. And
We don't talk about life expense. We talk about vacation money.
And if you're doing a good enough discovery, you're going to find out these people have money without really asking if they have money. Because if they're telling me they're gone here and they're gone over there and they're used to staying in 2 or 3 bedrooms and, they bring the whole family with them and all that, there's a lot of money being spent here,
I always told my team when I had one that the survey is used against the family. So you take as much information, and with a little bit kindness and tender, you throw it back at them. That's like a relationship. You ever had a relationship where you had to question that person? So where you been? You went to the bar with your friend, then you wait a little bit, and then you go, did you tell me that you went to the bar with your friend? To see if that answer changes. That's the survey.
For sure. For sure.
Just thinking about your journey, I met a gentleman by the name of Chris. He said he was a trainer. He met you when you first started.
Chris!
Yeah.
Yes.
He told me to give you a shout out.
Oh my God, he's so important in my life. He was a trainer, and I just started, and I was one of those people trying to give up, and he was like, "Girl, you can do this," and he encouraged me on my way. They used to fire me because I didn't the reason why they used to fire me is not that I didn't know my product, I didn't understand it. So if I didn't understand it, I didn't know how to deliver. So Chris, oh my God, he's in the show.
No, he doesn't know anything about the show, but I met
Chris,
him.
told me no, and he sat there and told me and explained that today I still carry it. Like I do a pencil pitch on everything I'm talking about. So I'm always, because I have to see it, hear it, touch it. I'm one of those people. So to handle an objection, I'm handling the objection and they could see it. Why and what am I doing and how I'm doing it. And they understand.
Wow.
I figured it out. I said I knew what I was. I didn't have a clue. I knew the script. But to deliver, I don't know what it was. Divide it and split it and take it a getaway. I didn't.
Right.
As simple as that, I didn't get it.
Well, not just knowing your product, but if you are a salesperson that want to take it to the next level, it's also knowing your competitor's product also, right? Which brings us to the question that we have beef about on this podcast a lot.
Uh-oh.
Weeks versus points. I'm pretty sure since you sell a weeks product that if a family came in that was thinking about purchasing points, I'm pretty sure you would pitch against the points.
I don't speak against no product. I say any product is better than no product. It's better than what you're doing. One, because I haven't left where I work and I only know points. And
you only know weeks.
I only know weeks. Yeah. Yes, I don't know anything about points. I bare minimum, so I touch on it, but not too much where they're gonna continue to tell me anything else.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me. Like I haven't explored any other, but I try to give them the best of both worlds. How our product can enhance what they already got going on.
Yeah,
But we
because
have
some
that
people
debate.
could stretch it into talking giving them a class about points. No, it's subject to change due to inflation, and it could take you to point A to point B, and it depends on if you have the points or not to use it. With this one, it's just a week, trades a week. Everywhere you go, you're gonna go for a week.
That's another thing. Can you share with our listeners about talking past the close?
I don't understand.
When you talk too damn much, you got the sale, but you keep talking and you said something that can ruin the sale because you just kept running your mouth.
Yes, you have to learn how to listen. You got to talk a lot, but you have to also learn how to listen. The more they talk, the better it is, because the more ammunition you will get, and you know what to sell them at the end.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
If there are some people that's listening to this podcast right now, and let's say they either just passed the real estate school, they went out and got their license, and they're thinking about joining a timeshare company, what advice would you share for them?
That's going to be a hard question, because I always encourage people not to take their license until they know what they're doing, because commission rep gets paid on what they sell. If you don't know anything, you're going to get discouraged, and then you're not going to like the job because you're not going to get paid. You don't know what you're doing. Until you know what you're doing, stay salary.
Well, what about the reps that...
But if you do get your license, product knowledge is the key. The more you know, the better it is.
For sure. What have you seen the reps that they're brand new, they start with their license. Well, no, I'm sorry. They don't start with their license. They start on the hourly or the daily. And they're getting deals. And then as soon as they switch over and they hang their license, now they can't sell it. They can't even give it away. Have you seen that
My heart
before?
goes out for them, because that's exactly the reason why Westgate fired me 10 years later.
Yeah.
I did so well. I was getting paid so well as a salary. Then I changed it to the license, and I can't even give it away.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened to me? But you know what it was? I found out that I was independent. And if I didn't sell, I wasn't going to eat. And so that hit my head. And I was like, I'm confused because I was doing good. But now I had that pressure on me until they fired me. And then I went somewhere else. I was like, I'm not making any money here. I went back and I started. Because now I was mentally ready and prepared.
You were driven.
Driven to the T. That's something you have to have. You have to, whatever took you to sell timeshare, you have to keep that motivation and take it with you throughout your whole entire journey. Because still today, I still live the reason why I came to to work for Timeshare.
Nice. And I noticed something, that you have a passion for doing something else. On top of selling, you have a passion for helping people look and feel beautiful.
Yes.
And I noticed that you know, the money that you earned, you were able to build the empire, and you started your own salon, Looks by Lala. So not only are you a real estate vacation expert, but you also are a licensed cosmetologist, and you specialize in Dominican hairstyling.
Yes, Dominican blowout.
Ooh, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the beauty about it is that you were able to take one opportunity and open up more doors for you, so now you have multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And we applaud you for that, because that, you know, women empowerment is big. I love to see the growth, and I love to see the independence of, you know, women, what we can do. You can, you know, start and dominate in one industry and then open up multiple streams, and now you have opportunities that other people you can share with. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So if anyone needs to book or wants to, you know, check you out, it's Looks by Lala, correct? And that's on Instagram.
Yes.
So we'll put that. It's going to be right there, as you see. Follow that right there. You know what I mean? And we appreciate you coming through, Jeanette.
Thank you. Thank
know,
you for having me.
Yeah, this is good, and we appreciate all the viewers and listeners that's watching us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Factual TV, on the Roku channels, on the smart TV channels, Amazon. You know, all the
YouTube,
everywhere. We appreciate you. You know, keep continuing to follow. Please continue to share, and as we grow this community organically, we will continue to bring you insights from different people in the industry, right? And we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
For taking your
Thank
time
you.
out, coming us on the show.
And Richard, we're almost sold out of sold in 60 objection cards, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Absolutely.
Right? So there's very limited amount left. If you're thinking about ordering some, now would be the best time to do it. If you've already ordered some and you're still waiting for them, Richard's definitely going to take care of you. He got you first thing tomorrow. He'll ship them out. I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah.
Other than that, you want to pay some bills, Richard, before we get out of here?
Yep. This session of Sold in 60 was sponsored by Factual Films Studio, which can be found at 8865 Commodity Circle. Factual Films Studio is a podcast studio with multiple rooms where you can book and host your own podcast and start your own wave. Shout out to Factual Film.
Shout out to Factual. And we're out. And that's how you get sold in 60.
That's how you get sold in 60.
And we're out.
Peace.